Good evening, League Dependency Season 5 players and fans. This is John with a few special guests who would like to introduce themselves.
This is Random, your coach of the Los Angeles Slackings and Season 2 League Dependency champion. And someone else?
This is a BXS.
Yeah.
Not currently a coach, but maybe in the future, just
Who knows?
substitute.
There's always time, right? Now we've done our introductions.
Thanks for introducing yourself. Let's just start immediately.
Let's just get straight into it.
We're going to start with the Florida Squirtle squad coached by Joel. His roster is Ladios, NK, Greninja, Mantine, Beaver, Olaf, Megapizor, Thunderous, T, Nidoking, Bronzong, and Gramble. Brandon, what do you think about this team?
Okay, so right off the bat, I think we can all see it's quite a well-rounded team. He's got a lot of the boxes ticked for sort of typical components of a draft. He's got a good Fairy Dragon Steel Core in Gramble, Latias, and Megasiz, and Bronzong as well, so 2 steel types. A lot of good defense. He's got the, don't think he has a grass type, actually. No, that's very interesting to note. No grass type, but I don't think he really needs one, to be honest. Like, he's got all the other weaknesses that a grass type typically patches up covered, with Mantine's a really solid water resist or immunity, even. Yeah, like overall, I think it's a very well-rounded draft upon first glance.
All right, thanks for saying your opinions on the draft, Random. BXS, what do you think about this draft?
Yeah, I pretty much agree on the idea that it's very well rounded. He's got pretty reasonable hazard control, 2 really good defoggers in Latias, Megasiz, and he's got a few rockers.
Mantine with defog as well,
yeah,
actually. Yeah,
it's true. So I agree though. I think it is really well rounded, which, like, a bit biased, but I'd quite like as well. Obviously, as you said, it doesn't have a grass type, but I don't think that's a huge issue. He's covered pretty much every type. He's got a solid fighting type, as you said, solid water type, and yeah, I think it is a pretty good draft.
All right, so I think this draft is very solid. Mega Caesar is one of the best megas in the entire format. Latios is a really good defogger, and the thing I don't like is Olaf round 3. That's kind of unnecessary.
that was pretty whack. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was trying to flex on us, but right now he already played his first game, and Olaf was the MVP in that. But yeah, his Zmon is Thunderous Therian, which is a phenomenal Z user. I think he could have picked Latios too, because Latios has a lot of coverage, but Thunderous is a really offensive Z user with that 145 special attack.
It's very hard to wall with Z.
Yeah, and also a mon that I really like is Beware. Beware is kind of its stats are very identical to Conch Elder. So it just it hits really hard too. So it's basically like a mini Conch.
It's like
which is really good. Conch is amazing. Like nothing really walls that because it has so much coverage.
Because this thing is
Bronzong.
Fighting normal is pretty much almost unresisted stab coverage, which is really nice.
Yeah, and I think Joel of the Florida Squirrel squad, he will go 9-3 and have the best record in LD season 5.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. That's a very bold statement. Another thing I want to add is Greninja is actually the GOAT. Like, this thing's ridiculous. It's going to get it, even without Protean. It's just so damn good. Like 122 speed. Oh, that's another thing to mention. He's got really solid speed tiers as well. Quite varied.
He's got nice speed tier.
Yeah,
it's a good draft. I give this draft a 9 out of 10. I think it's good.
I think he can win the entire thing this year if he plays good. Because I know Joel's a good player. He needs to have. I think this season's going to be his bounce back season.
Yeah, like he had a rough one last season, but I think he can turn it around. He might make a run for the championship this one.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything else to say about his team, or can we move on?
I think we've covered it.
Yeah, I think we've covered it all.
So let us move on to the Duke Blue D-board. This man Reggie Duke changes his name like every season.
I know. Yeah, okay. First of all, before we get into the team, what the fuck is the Duke Blue D-board? That's whack as fuck. We're off to a bad start with Reggie. I'm gonna be honest. Like the name,
I don't know.
He's set.
Sounds pretty autistic.
That's like a 2 out of 10. Like that's a tier 5 name.
No, if you scroll down in the bottom of the duck, there's like.
I know. I was looking at that.
What the fuck? Okay,
It's
let's
like,
move on.
okay,
So,
right. Jokes aside,
alright,
we're here to talk about the team.
His roster consists of Lando By Sharp, Calvantula, Delmise, Alamamola, Toros, Mega Metachimp, Nihilego, Gudra, and DNC and Ninjas. So, Random, what do you think about this team?
Okay, so I see Landawai and Mega Metachamp, and those are some scary threats he's got. That's an enormous, two huge wall breakers there. I really like the synergy with, and webs obviously. I really like the synergy between Mega Metachamp, Bisharp, Landawai, because the only things that are really walling Mega Metachamp and Landawai are like really fat psychic types like Reuniclus, Latias, Cress. Which I think went undrafted, but if it gets free agency, they'll sign it. But those obviously get pursuit trapped by Bisharp, so I think that's a really cool synergy he's got going on there. Obviously, Bisharp with Defiant 2 for webs, so I really like the synergy that he's got with those 4 mons. Yeah, I'll leave the rest for the excess.
Alright, so the excess, what do you think about this team?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the speed tiers in particular. I think that might be a reason why he's gone for Ninjas as one of the lower tier picks. I mean, it could be an issue, but he does have a few mons breaking speed 100, like Tauros, Landrosaya, and Nihilego. I'm not sure what you guys think of Nihilego as a Z-mon. It does get pretty good coverage, in all fairness.
I mean, he didn't really have a better option. And it's
yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
In my opinion, it's pretty mediocre as a Z-mon, in my opinion. But he's not really got any better options. So
yeah,
I can
Alright,
understand.
so I think his team like heavily relies on webs. Like webs don't get set
Yeah,
up.
that's like the main issue that I have with this team.
Mega Metachim is Mega Metachim and Landawai will like nuke everything. So his offense is there. Just needs to make sure webs stay on the field. And also something that's questionable is By Sharp round 2. I'm pretty sure that could have waited. He probably could have like focused on like a more important one. And he should be grateful that Mega Metachim didn't get sniped, because that was on a lot of people's radars this season. But I'm surprised it lasted that long. And also,
what round did he take it in? It was a round.
It was like round 4 or 5.
Let's see.
It was like end of round 4.
True. Yeah, he got it like last pick. He got it on the wheel round 4, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. And also his hazard control is a little questionable. Delmise isn't the best because he can get spin blocked and then rocks are there to stay. And also Nihilego, it's a good mon. He just needs to make sure the steel type is gone, because steel type's quality. I think he should have gone like Dougie or Magnuson or Magneton. That would be a good pickup if they're still available. I'm not sure if they are. And yeah, any other comments on the team?
I mean, in response to that steel type thing, obviously, that's some more cool synergy because Landawai and Mega Metacham murk every steel type that's not.
Oh, and also something I don't like is By Sharp. By Sharp's his main dragon resist.
Oh, I didn't see. Actually, no. Dianci's pretty solid as a dragon resist.
Yeah.
I use that.
It really isn't, because a lot of dragon types learn a steel move, which Oko Dianci.
Yeah, he will be forced to run Babiri Berry a lot on it.
And also,
Yeah.
By Sharp's his only steel type, which is kind of a neck.
Yeah, in general. But I don't think Bishop's an amazing draft pick, especially compared to the actual laddering. But as you mentioned, because of the synergy it will have with Galvantula and the whole Defiant thing, I wouldn't call it a bad pick at all. And it is really strong, to be fair.
It is.
I think his team is really unique. I haven't seen a team like that. Nihilego and Ninja. So it's a cool team. So let's move on to the Hamburg Blue Flares, coached by Max. His roster consists of Latios, Silvally, Chestnut, Metagross, Flygon, Vikavolt, Mega DNC for Alligator, Salazzle, Crocodile, and Mimikyu. Random, what do you think about this team?
Okay, so originally I didn't really like this draft, but actually upon looking at it again, I think I understand his picks a bit more, and I think it's a pretty solid draft. Silvally, first of all, is a pretty cool mon. defensively at least, because he can patch up just one weakness really nicely with that each week.
Like any type he wants.
Yeah, parting shot, it's treasury. Yeah, it is any type Silvally, and passing shot around, U-turn, T-wave. I think it's got a very nice support move pool. Obviously, it's let down by its total lack of recovery. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how he uses it without a wish passer. It's quite an offensive team, I think. Like, he's got some Mega Dynasty. It's not got a ton of walls. Like, his bulkiest mons are like Chestnut and Metagross, and even then, they're not like, they've got exploitable weaknesses. It's quite an offensive team, actually.
Yeah,
but,
Yeah.
Max is he's a good player though, so I think he'll be able to outplay his opponents, I think. So we'll see what he does.
BXS, what do you think about his team?
Yeah, I do agree. It is really offensive. I mean, his picks are all very offensive ones, and obviously he's got Latios as his tier 1, and that's a really fantastic one. I think it's a really good Zmon user, mainly just because of coverage and like the wide move pool that it has in general. But defensively, it could be an issue. I don't think there's any particular weakness to his whole team, like any particular type that stands out, which is obviously a good thing. But it will be interesting to see like how he fares against other people's big threats and how he manages to deal with them. Obviously, you guys know his playstyle and as a player better than me, so I'm sure he probably knows what he's doing.
It's interesting to note. Gator is his bulky water.
Yeah,
that's debatable.
All right, so I think his team is like, it's not really like super offensive. It's like bulky offensive because he has ones like Chestnut, Metagross, Silvally can be defensive. Mega Dynasty is bulky to a point. It's not super the most frail thing, but it's sort of bulky. For Alligator's a decently bulky mon. Crook is kind of bulky. Like, his team has some like pivots, but they're not like extremely bulky like your Chanseys, your Alamomoras.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think since Max is such a creative, he takes his prep pretty seriously. I think he'll come up with some really cool Silvally sets that work. And
yeah, he's very creative.
Latios is really good. Like the Z Draco is a makes him have with his team is he doesn't really his defog options for Latios and Flygon and Mega Dynasty. No one's gonna like, people will still go for rocks on Mega Dynasty. Like, he's not gonna switch it in on like rock.
Because most rockers are ground types, aren't they? And Mega Dynasty pretty much loses to all ground types.
Like, if he wants to be like super risky, then he will. But I don't know.
He's got the like flex on people. That's like his option.
Mimikyu is a good mon. Mimikyu, it doesn't need to set up to hit hard. It can hit hard. Like, its stats are nice. And also something I noticed is his team's kind of weak to Ghost. If he doesn't bring Crook, he has no other resist.
That's true.
Besides maybe Silvally.
I mean, a couple more things I want to say. I like the Mimikyu pick actually because it's a very good anti-setup mon.
Yeah.
And his team's quite weak to set up, like sort of Dragon Dance and stuff. They just +1.
Like if my Como gets to like +6, you can go into Mimikyu and kill it.
It's just not
Como is God, by the way. Alright, so
don't get out.
I think
also,
John, you're cutting out a bit. I don't know what.
Alright, so let me explain. So Salazzle, I don't really like Salazzle as like a fire type. It doesn't really like, it's kind of like easy to walk, I guess, because it's not like, it's really frail. You can go to something faster and easily revenge kill it.
Yeah, it's a interesting pick.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with what you said about like, he has a lot of offensive marks, but they can put in a little bit of a shift defensively. So like Kroot getting Intimidate, I think could really come in handy. But obviously the fact that Mimikyu, except it's like got Mold Breaker or Terrorbolt, it's going to take a hit no matter what, could be really clutch in any game. So I think he definitely does have options, and like as you said, if he is like quite creative with it, I don't think he'll have huge issues on the defensive side.
I mean, Vikavolt is a bit of a neck as a pick, not gonna lie. Like,
I mean, it's a cool pick. Like, there's nothing. He's like tier 5's a bad tier. Like, there's nothing really. Except Primate's the best one. But
yeah, that's true.
So, any other comments, or can we move on to Hiker Toad? coach of the Boston Boldoras.
Okay, I give this draft a actually no, nothing else. I give this draft a 6 out of 10.
And also, I think Max is gonna go 7-5 and get like the 7th seed in playoffs.
Yeah.
All right, and next we're moving on to Hiker to coach of the Boston As. That's Hiker. I mean, his roster consists of Starmie, Lucario, Decidueye, Fortress, Aromatisse, Stun Trash, Megazord X, Mandibuzz, Toxicroak, Duck, the Trio, and Seismitoad. Random, what do you think about his team?
Okay, so I've got several things that I've got to say about this team. First of all, the main thing that becomes pretty obvious as soon as you look at it is he's relying on Zardex an awful lot. Like that thing basically has to come to every game because he's bringing sort of this weird Decidueye like Fortress semi-stall. Otherwise, like this man drafted 5 hazard removers, so he's relying on Zardex a lot. Like his offense basically consists of Zardex, Doug Trio, and Lucario. That's it basically. Because Starmie's
Life Orb Analytic hits hard.
That's true actually. Yeah. So he's got like 4 offensive mons. I think he traded Toxicroak away for Heliolisk anyway. So. Even so, like, all you've got to do versus Hiker's team is prevent the Zard from DDing, and you win. That's it, basically.
and also something I noticed is that like the Zard X, you think Zard X is god, like it's good, but it's not like a good enough to get 6 kills every match.
People prep really hard for it. So they've got they come up with all sorts of like clever anti Zard mons like berries and stuff like that.
Basically, this is how you prep for Hiker's team. You bring a wall for Zardex, you bring a wall for Toxicroak, you bring a wall for Lucario and Starmie, and you bring 2 random mons and you win.
That's it, basically, yeah.
BXS, what do you think about his team?
So, well, I feel like we're being a bit harsh on a poor Hiker. So,
I'm not sure we are.
So I'm gonna try and see the positive. I mean, like obviously from a defensive point of view, he's got so much options. I mean, I'm not really sure about Stunfisk in general because I've never really seen it or used it in League at all.
It's pretty underrated, I think.
Yeah.
It's got mad bulk. Like it's like 109, 80, something like that, 99, if I believe.
And obviously like a really good typings and all. And in general, like Fortress is obviously, as you said, a really good spinner, rocks and the rest of it. And I've used Aromatisse quite a bit, and I think it is a little bit underrated. So I hope that pulls through for him because I'd say it is a relatively reliable like Wish Passer and Cleric and the rest of it.
Yeah, it's a good like low tier fairy.
Yeah, and it is true though that his draft is really built to make sure like Zardex can thrive as much as possible. Which I mean, he is the current champion, isn't he? So.
Yeah.
He clearly knows what he's doing.
But we got.
He's a thing.
I know. We got to take the champion's curse into account anyway. So I predict Hiker to go 0-12 this season.
No, I predict Hiker to miss out on playoffs this season if he doesn't get comfortable with Zardex.
Well, I'm gonna make sure that I back Hiker all the way. Just so he has some support. I think we're going to see a back-to-back champion then. I think Hiker's...
What?
That's right. I think he's going all the way.
Kick him out of the server right now. Kick him out right now.
Yep, you're going to You had your chance. No one comes into my recording and says that shit.
Yeah, no one talks good about Hiker's ass. So let's move on. He's got a Starmie. Starmie's like a good one, but he's gonna make it look garbage. He's gonna get 0 kills.
Yep.
And Lucario as a Z-Mon, he's gonna run like Z tackle or some shit. Like, I don't know.
He's got the choke.
He's gonna choke, and then Zardex. The only good Zardex set is Sunny Day Fire Blast.
Yeah, that's cash as well.
Just like trying to be a Zard Y.
That's like
I mean, because Zard Y is superior. And also, something I don't like about his team is that all of his games are going to be like at least like 40 turns long because he has so much bulk. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
it's either he's gonna win big or win super small. Like he's gonna get 1-0s or 2-0s or like 5-0s, 6-0s, and 4-0s. He isn't gonna get very many 3-0s. Like his team, it's like U-turn pivot. Like he doesn't have very much like U-turn action going. He's got Decidueye, Fortress. Fortress is just ass. You won't like Fortress.
Okay, Fortress is actually a horrible one. I've got something to say about that one.
Dude, when I had it in season 2, it literally was so bad. Like literally every game, it was Stealth Dark, Spikes, Setup Fodder, and then Mega Rocket.
Yeah, with some nice mono electric.
And
but that's besides the point. Right.
Yeah, he has some underrated mons like Toxic Rogue and Lucario. Those are very underrated mons.
I think Lucario's like one of the best tier 2s. Like, instead, it went round.
Lucario? What?
Yeah, it's great.
Lucario's underrated though.
I know. Yeah, it goes like quite late in drafts though, which is strange.
Like most drafts don't even get it. Like it's that underrated.
Literally, it's slept on. I mean, Hiker's obviously not the person to make it look good, but which is a shame.
If Hiker wins this season, LD is rigged.
Literally, like I'm quitting the league here.
I'm quitting the league too.
Okay, you heard it here first, folks. At least BXS will get in that. So.
I'm actually like really surprised he picked Seismitoads. I mean, he didn't need a water type.
This man was just counter teaming my Mega Aerodactyl. you heard it.
It probably was.
Alright, you know what mon on my team beats him? Jimmy Cox. He has no switch.
Yeah, it's talk like that. Like that's why my money's on Hiker.
Smack him with that nice HP grass.
Yeah. If Hiker doesn't win, you're getting banned.
Alright, one other thing to say. Can we just?
Hiker, it's a lot. I
feel like we could talk about. We could talk about Hiker for a half an hour, to be honest.
We can talk about
Hiker, about how bad he is for.
Like, this is no longer the LD draft and that season 5 draft and that. This is just a Hiker draft and that.
We should make a separate video roasting Hiker.
Literally, yeah. We'll come back. We'll come back to this topic.
Well, I think Zardex will be MVP and Hiker will lead.
Okay, bold prediction. Okay, Zard is getting fewer than 8 kills this season.
It will. Alright, let's move on. So we got Brock, coach of the New York Yankees. He's got Infernape, Digger, Speed Crobat, Tyrone from Sneasel, Leavanny, Mega, Alex, Tim, Suicune, Florges, Amoonguss, and Magneton. Rando, what do you think about his team?
Don't call me Rando again.
Oh my bad, Random. What do you think about his team?
Okay, kick out the server. Alright, this is some nice bulky offense. I really like it. It's got a good mix of sort of offensive fast threats and wall breakers and a defensive sort of backbone of Suicune, Florges, and Amoonguss. But one thing I do want to touch on is I think his hazard control is very poor. That's the main thing holding this draft back. I think. Like if you look, he's only got one form of hazard in rocks, and his rockers are Infernape and Tyrantrum.
Oh wait. He has spikes on Diggersby, by the way.
Oh, true. Diggersby.
And sticky webs.
Diggersby the god. Okay, wait, my statement was ass then. right. Well, regardless, like all of those, excuse me. His hazard set is a really like not good, reliable ones. Like Infernape doesn't want to be running rocks. It just doesn't have room for it. Diggersby spikes again. It just doesn't have room to be running them. Tyrantrum is same thing as Infernape, and Leavan is just like an ass mom in general. So,
you have to at least prep for Leavan.
It's true, yeah. And then we like to take a look at it as a hazard removal, and that's even worse because he's got one default in Crobat, and that's like Crobat's it's a decent utility mon. So that's I think the one thing I'll say holding his draft back is his not got good hazard control at all.
I mean, I don't think that really matters because like I went season 3 and I literally tried to default Crobat every week and it worked.
And fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine with hazard control. Crobat's one a really good move because it's so fast.
I mean, he has Infernape, so he's all set really. He's got like.
Yeah, to be obsessed. What do you think about his draft?
I think I do agree because I think the hazard is what holds him back. 'Cause other than that, I think it's best drafts. I really like the bulk because I think I like three of his free picks with Suicune and Fogus and Amoonguss are all just really reliable bulky mons.
Suicune with wish support. Oh, I really like that pick.
Yeah, Suicune I think is just like an incredible mon. Even like tier 2, I think it's definitely worth it. I think it's really good, and I think he does. Yeah, and he does have really good speed tiers because obviously Infernape, Sneasel, Mega Alakazam, and Crobat are all pretty fast. I think it is well rounded, and he does pretty much cover. I'm not sure if he covers every type, but almost every type that he could. And really, it is the hazards though. The hazards, unless he obviously if he can work Crobat really well, then he won't have a problem. Levani is quite interesting. I suppose it's a bit of a mind games just because you when prepping for him, you might have to consider that he could bring like sticky webs out of nowhere.
Diggersby with webs is a threat as always.
Yeah, definitely. And so I don't think I wouldn't say it's a terrible pick, but it's like perhaps there's better stuff to go at.
Yeah. Alright, so I think this draft is very nice. Like, Zmon and Infernape is really cool. Because you can go Sword Dance, Nasty Paw, Z-move, and blow something back pretty badly.
You can do anything with it.
And also, something I suggest is, his team isn't really, like, known for, like, setting up rocks and that type of stuff. So maybe you can throw someone off by bringing a Sash Lead, Diggersby, and Spike stacking them. People won't expect that.
Yeah.
Because Diggersby hits hard anyway. Like, return Earthquake Spikes and, like, a coverage move, like, that scares mons out.
Yeah, that's
and, like,
good stuff.
You can just set up 3 layers of Spike easy and people won't expect it.
I mean, if Brock learns that the only Diggersby set isn't Scarf, then you know what, he might be able to do something with it. Until that day,
and also something really cool is that Mega Alakazam's trace, like, versus me, it won in the match because he had Water Absorb.
Yeah, that was a really cool set.
If he didn't have Water Absorb, I won that match. But that literally won him the game, that Mega Zam's ability.
Mega Zam's like a really clutch one, actually. Like at 150, it's outspeeding Scarf base 80s, I believe. So that's a really nice thing to have. So stuff like Scarf Togekiss and stuff like that is gonna get outsped.
Yeah.
And have a common Scarf.
Yeah. And also something I also like about his team is Amoonguss as well. Amoonguss is like really underrated.
It's a pretty interesting. It's like just an annoying fat one that sits there. And a grounded T-Spikes, a grounded poison type to soak up T-Spikes is really nice for his other 2 walls as well.
Oh,
I think they appreciate that.
And something that you can't wall is Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum has like no switch and it hits so hard.
Head smash nukes like the shit out of stuff. That's like
banded head smash. Holy crap!
He's got some nice setup going. It's a really nice rounded draft. I think the only thing I don't like about it is the hazard. So I give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, and also I think that I think Brock will go 8. I think Brock will go 7 and 5. I don't think he'll have as good a season as people expect him to.
Brock's been he's consistently performed well the past 4 seasons. I think he might be able to continue that. 8 and 4. I'm saying.
I'm just saying that his team. It's just like it's kind of like if you like pursue Trap Mega Zam, you basically can just like wall his entire team.
Nah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. In fact, Life Orb and Infernape, there's very few things that can. Like, it's just got the coverage to hit everything.
I mean,
really.
every team has a Life Orb, and they basically counter.
Nah, they don't. They don't though. That's the thing.
I have a counter. I have like 3 counters.
Okay, like Mew sort of wolves. That's it though.
No,
nothing.
I have. My counters are Gligar.
No, HP Ice. Alright, there you go.
Yeah, HP
Yeah,
Ice
that doesn't. He has to. That means he has to waste a move on HP Ice, and he needs more than like a few covers.
Okay, I think Mew can take a few hits, and Komoro as well. But that's quite rare that you've got a team that can.
All right, Life Orb Nape is a good counter. Like, to be honest, like it's a good like revenge killer, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, so any other comments before we move on?
I think we can see him in the final versus Taika.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
can
not-
see
I'm
him
not-
going to the finals. I hope
No,
Brock's
but,
wins
but,
this season.
I want him to win this season. If I don't win this season, of course, I want him to win.
I don't want Hiker to win. Hiker's
Okay,
just such a
hike
weenie.
it. Right, but I know Brock is cursed to remain forever in the semi-finals.
I think Brock can get this season.
Brock might do it. I'm predicting 9-3 again, the same record as last time.
I'm predicting John versus Brock finals with John coming up on top 6 now.
Get this man out. Moving swiftly onwards.
We got Denver Caldios, coached by Vesuvius. This roster consists of Manaphy, Scolpede, Umbreon, Whimsicott, Delphox, Primate, Mega Ampharos, Tornadus, D, Skarmory, Kamala, and Golurk. Random, what do you think about his team?
Okay, first off, what is this man for? Who drops Kamala? That's the word. That's the wackest shit. That's the wackest shit I've seen since I don't even. That's just it is so bad. Like straight up. Okay, I can't even for a tier. This mod is bad for a tier 5. Like that's what we're talking.
Tier 4. It's tier 4.
I know. It's awful for a tier 4. Like there's just it's just straight ass. Like everyone's like, oh, it gets Utah. Like it gets Atmosphere. Like I don't give a fuck. This one's like.
You see his match versus Sablo? It got cocked.
I know.
And that wasn't even Life Orb for him. That was just a random ass Focus Blast.
And it just blew him back.
Alright, so random. Anything else you want to say?
Okay, now I've got that round out of the way. Let's move on. Okay, Manaphy has a Z move user. That's powerful as fuck. Like Manaphy plus Scolipede. Now that's powerful as fuck. Like I got that shit in IPSL and like I'm tearing up drafts like left, right, and centre with it. Like some Manaphy with batter passing speed into a Manaphy is threatening because it can basically like tail goes up on tons of shit. Like and it's just so bulky that you get the tail go off versus like a load of stuff. Often you don't even need to bring a lot of speed investment either if you're anticipating to get a boost from Scolipede. Batter passed into it, and with Z moves, it's so threatening because like nothing takes hits from it, and then you get the one thing that can maybe take a hit out of the way with a Z move, and that's it. Like you just sweep the rest of the team. Other than those two mons though, like Torn's gonna miss every Hurricane ever, and the rest are sort of meh.
It's okay. Like I don't think his draft is amazing. He thinks it's the best, which is a neck. It's not even good.
I think he lacks a wall breaker. I think he lacks something that's like if you look at like that's the thing. He has like a lot of mons that kind of almost like dance around the whole thing, but like you don't see Whimsicott picking up loads of kills, and it's like as you said, Tornadus T is just frustrating to use and be against just because it can miss so often, which is just horrifying. I don't know what you guys think of Mega Ampharos. Obviously, I feel like he gets the extra points because it's not tier 1 Mega.
It's a good Mega, but it's not like amazing. Like it's not a mon that'll come through a lot of matches. It'll come to maybe like 7 matches, 6-7 matches.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think Skarm is going to be very pressured with 4 move slot syndrome. I think an awful lot because he needs to run Rocks and Roost and pretty much Defog all every week, and he's left. And he just doesn't have enough move slots, I don't think, on Skarm.
And he only has 2 rockers in Skarmory and Golurk, which isn't the best rockers. His only form of hazards is rocks. Like that'll be easy to take advantage of. Like and his only defog mon is Skarmory. Like that's his only hazard removal.
Skarm's really passive, so that's
and Z Manaphy, it's a good mon, but the thing it lacks is like it needs more than 2 coverage moves to like beat a good draft.
But I mean that's the kind of thing I like about it though. Like obviously, the Rain Dance set does, but but obviously you don't need Z Rain Dance if you're getting speed from Scolipede.
Yeah,
so then
you've
got 3 coverage moves, and obviously the offensive coverage move, which I think is really crucial. I mean, obviously Vez is just ass, so like he's still gonna do bad with it, but like.
I mean, like to be honest, I think Vez he has an okay draft, but he's making it look like God. Like it's not God. Like to be honest, it has like Torn's a good mon, Manaphy's a good mon, Scully's a good mon, Skarmory's a good mon.
I mean, straight up, let's be honest. Vez is just like the LeVar Ball of this league. So
I don't think Vez is gonna make playoffs this season.
I think he's gonna go. He might break even.
I think he's gonna break even with that draft. I think
7-5, 6-6, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there. He's not gonna get past 7-5 with that draft.
Can we also the thing is he has Scolipede, and obviously passing off speed to Manaphy is terrifying. But at the same time, as you said, is only a hazard remover in Skarmory, and if rocks are up, you don't want considering Scolipede might have to switch in a few times if it's baton passing and stuff. You don't want it taking that 25% all the time, which I think it might do.
Oh shit! Someone just deleted the Manaphy off the dock.
Okay, so I think Golurk is a cool mon, but it's not gonna come to very many matches. Skarmory's gonna be if Skarmory goes down, he only gets rocks, he's not gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Torn's weak to rocks.
Kamala's just so easy to take advantage of.
That beats him is a ghost type move.
Yeah.
He's extremely weak to ghost type.
And he has an Umbreon actually. Oh crap! Wait.
I was gonna say.
Random, he deleted it off his team. Okay, so it's
breaking the dog.
You can't just delete this shit out. You have 5 mons, and I'm just looking through. And I'm like, where's the ghost resist?
Alright. So he's got that nice Umbreon's a pretty cool pick. I think, especially with Bat and Pass, because that stops it being too passive. Because you can just Bat and Pass out, bring in a Wall Breaker. I really like the Whimsicott pick as well, actually. Whimsicott's a really useful mon, U-turn support. So hits surprisingly hard for only 75. It can 2-KO when it needs to, on super effective hits.
So yeah, let's move on to Jordan Z, coach of the Boston Bulbasaur. His team is Weavile, Togekiss, Tangrowth, Darmanitan, Hitmontop, Audino, Mega Aggron, Gengar, Slowking, Rhyperior, Qwilfish. Random, what do you think about this team?
Okay, so I said this in the last one. I'm actually really not a fan of this team. I think it reminds me a lot of Tup's GBA draft this season with the Tangrowth, Slowking core, and the bulky Steel, Steelix, Mega Aggron, and then the sort of one fast mon in Weavile, and Hitmontop as well. And a Wish Pot. It's very similar actually to that draft, and I didn't really like that draft either, because balance in general. I think it's too passive. You have a lot of mons which can sort of hit, they've got around, the type there, they've got around base 100 offensive stats, but they're never being invested, Slowking, Tangrowth for example, Mega Aggron, they're all quite passive, which could leave them quite weak to set up. But Weavile and Gengar is a very scary offensive core. That's definitely something to watch out for. And Darmanitan just hits like a nuke. That thing is scary. I think we might see some cool sets with Togekiss as well. Maybe some nasty passing to Gengar. Who knows? He's got some good hazard options as well. Actually, no, wait. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I think he's got good hazard options.
Yeah.
Spikes, T-Spikes, some reliable rockers in Mega Aggron and Rhyperior.
Alright, so Chris, what do you think about this draft?
I personally really like the.
Wait, you're cutting out a bit.
I think.
Yeah, it was say
right,
what
sorry.
you're saying again. You cut out just any said of that.
I was just saying that I quite like Regenerator, the 3 Regenerator mon and his team. I feel like he almost has unnecessary defensive mons that he doesn't really need. I don't know how useful Qwilfish will be to him. I can see why he got Rhyperior, because it's a ground type, which I don't think he has anywhere else, and it's a rocker. Yeah. But I feel like he could have benefited with another offensive threat. But as you said, Weavile and Gengar, I think they work really well together. I think they're a really cool combination. Gengar as a Z-mon user, I think, quite exciting. So I hope we see some really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a very Jonesy style team. I think he's comfortable with this style of sort of bulky balance.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as long as it works for him, isn't it?
Yeah, that's important. Yeah. I think. Yeah, John.
And also, okay, so basically his team, it's it has like a few mons that you have to really prep for in Levi Ling's Gengar, and everything else you can just wall with the general of your team. Like Tangrowth and Darmanitan hits hard with that sheer force flare blitz. That's pretty hard to switch into.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty passive. Like Audino can become setup fodder. Hitmontop can easily become setup fodder because its move pool is horrendous. It's so bad.
It gets fighting and like Earthquake and that's it. Like it can't touch
And bullet
flying
punch,
types. It can't touch fire types or ghost types.
It can't touch psychic types either.
Oh,
like that's
yeah.
With Sucker Punch, but Sucker
It's
Punch can become setup fodder.
very easy to take advantage of. I think another thing to mention about this team is he's got quite poor speed tiers, in my opinion. He has 2 mons above base 100. After that, they're all slow walls.
And Darmanitan's decently fast.
I mean,
actually, speed tiers are fine.
Well, no, it goes 125.
After 284, it gets really bad.
Like it goes Dom, and then that's it. Like.
And Togekiss.
I mean, yeah, but that's getting outsped by like a large portion of things.
Yeah, he's doing like max speed on that.
Only 2 mons above base 100, but they are fast mons. Like,
all right,
people outspeeding a lot of shit.
People think his team is really good because it synergizes well, but I don't really like it either.
I mean, I give it like a 5 out of 10. I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
it's just balanced playstyle in general. I think it's just too passive in a league format.
It's way too passive. Like, for example, like if all I have to do is like get like 1 Dragon Dance up with my Kamala and I win.
That's the kind of thing here. And then smack it with that acid downpour, and you're good.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Jordan Z will go 4-8 this season.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, any other comments about his team, or can we move on to Chili?
Could you see him making like any free agents and like perhaps bringing in something offensive?
Yeah. I could see maybe dropping Tangrowth for Roserade or something like that.
Yeah.
More offensive grass.
Yeah, Roserade's good. Roserade fits on his team too.
Go give him a bit more speed maybe. I could see, maybe dropping Corfish or something. Yeah.
So let's move on to Chili, coach of the New Jersey Juventus.
As our final team for this section.
Yeah, final team for this part 1 of this recap. He has Garchomp, Tapu Fini, Cobalion, Rotom Heat, Gorgas, Licky, Mega Beedrill, T-Tar, Alakazam, Kyogre, known as Cavalier. So, Random, what do you think of this man's team?
Okay, so, Chili's like one of the teams I haven't really had a good chance to look at. So, first of all, I'm seeing some nice speed tiers. Mega Beedrill's really cool. Sitting at 145 and just firing off adaptability U-turns, which really sting off 150 attack, I believe, which is really strong. Good, fast sort of volt turn support from that. And then obviously it drops down to Zam, which is a really cool, really hard-hitting special attacker. Magic Bounce is really nice, obviously, for keeping sashes intact and taking no life or recoil, or sand damage from the T-Tar either, which is interesting. And then he's got the god himself, Garchomp, with a Z-Mon, which is really, really threatening. Like, nothing wants to take +2 Z moves from Garchomp, like literally nothing. And it's got a really nice speed tier for wall breaking too, 110. That pairs quite nicely with Tapu Fini. The only issue I see there is misty terrain sort of getting in the way a bit. With that weakening his dragon moves, which could definitely backfire a bit. But yeah, I think he's got good rockers. It's overall a pretty solid draft. Also, Sandvale Garchomp could be an absolute menace to face with paired with T-Tar, so that's some nasty like nasty like Sandvale bright powder shit. Sub SD, who knows? I know, right? Like
I'm gonna roast him if he brings that shit.
Bake his ass. That's my initial comments on it.
Alright, so BXS, what do you think of this man's draft?
Well, like, I remember when Chili was like drafting this, I spoke to him a lot about like throughout the draft. And I do really like it in a sense, because I think he's covered a lot of the bases of like what makes a good draft. He's got like a few pretty decent walls, a few defensive options, and he's got like a lot of diversity. So he's got mons that can do a number of different things. So Garchomp can obviously be defensive, like a number of offensive sets with Scarfs. Obviously, it's the Zmon. Rotom H obviously can be very defensive, well, physically defensive, and can obviously be Scarf specs or whatever, and T-Tar as well. Mega Beedrill is quite an interesting Mega. Obviously, it gave him the extra franchise, or the extra points for the freeze, and in general, its adaptability and or U-turn will be really useful for him to get in some of his other threats. I'm not completely sold on stuff like Cryogonal. I'm not sure what you guys think about it. It's not my cup of tea as a mod.
I don't really like it.
I like that way of putting it.
Okay, so something I noticed about his team is that his team really relies on Defog, Tapu Fini.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
At the same time, he's not really too weak to hazards, really.
No, but he gets spike stacked and he loses.
Yeah, because Gorgeist doesn't like switching in with spikes up. That's true.
Neither does
yeah. And also his Rotom Heat, it's a good mon, but if rocks are up, it doesn't do anything.
It's getting worn down fast.
Yeah, I mean, Z Garchomp, I don't think he's gonna have as much success with it as Deimos, because people know how fretful that thing is, and they're gonna prep for.
That's
like
true.
Deimos, I don't know how Deimos pulled off all those. Like he got like 6 ST chop sweeps.
People just like choked in front of it. That
was Hero's like, I have an ice cream crest, but I'm gonna swap down to setup water.
I know, right? He just
and also
he just momentarily lost all his brain cells.
And also T-Tar, it's a good mon, but like I don't know, I think he has like a mix of like Mega Beedrill's got like a buff this generation with the Fell Stinger boost, so it's a good mon. And Gorgeist is really good. I had that in season 2. Without Gorgeist, I wouldn't have made finals. Like Gorgeist and Mega Lop.
Okay, I can testify from last season. Gorgeist is actually fantastic. It's got such good bowl.
In season 2, Deimos had 5 mons left, and all I had was Gorgeist and Mega Lop, and I won the game because Gorgeist tanked everything.
Yeah, I think
that thing.
Exactly. I think it is a little underrated. I think it's really cool because it's obviously a swim. It's got quite a nice defensive typing. Stuff like Leech Seed and reliable recovery.
Faster than Mega Venu on the physical side. And we all know how that thing takes plus lefties with an item.
Something I really like about his team is Alakazam, because Focus Sash Psycho that can be really cool.
Like set up counter, I think that's really
cool. You can lay a Suicune like at the +6 and Psycho up, then go for Side Shock and kill it. Like it's a perfect counter.
That would be really cool.
The thing I don't really understand is the Escavalier pick. I don't think that really made any sense. Like he sort of has a steel type covered. I kind of get him onto the a fairy switch in.
And his dragon resist is Tapu Fini, which is bad, and Cobalion. Like dragon types, like you can run through them at Tapu Fini's weekend.
Yeah, because that thing's not hard to win coverage for.
Yeah.
Like
every team can wear it down pretty easily because it has no reason. If it had rest, it would be so much better.
That's its problem, yeah. If it got some sort of he hasn't got a wish buster for that.
If it got Moonlight, it would be broken.
It's quite an offensive team now that I'm looking at it. Actually, like he's not got a lot of. He's sort of relying on that Tapu Fini, Rotom Heat Gorgeist sort of that Fire Water Grass core as a backbone. He's got some pivots though in Chomp and T-Tar. But I think T-Tar from after using it in IPSL for a few weeks, you basically have to bring Choppleberry every week on it because so many things get Focus Blast, and you're getting blown back if you get hit by one of those things because T-Tar is not very fast. But offensive T-Tar is definitely a threat. Like Rock Polish, DD, that's definitely had some potential to do work some weeks I found. So maybe Chili will get it to work.
And I don't think Chile will make playoffs this season. I think Chile will break even with 6-6.
6-6. I think that's a fair record. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like you're right about the hazards as well, especially because he's got a Mega Beedrill, which may want to bring in a number of times.
Like I feel like Chile's team is really easy to prep for.
You sort of. I think he's got a similar sort of issue to what he had last time with a certain ones. You've got things which are very obvious about what they're going to bring. It's
His
very
team is easy to predict.
very-
Like
it's very
actually, like
standard.
Garchomp.
Garchomp, you're bringing SD, Z-move every week, Tapu Fini, Bulky Default, Cobalion, like... I mean, that's an interesting one, because you can either go like a Rocks Volt Switch
Yeah.
pivot, or
Yeah, Cabal.
or set
Dude,
up either side,
you know-
Calm Mind or SD.
You know his team is not that good when Cobalion is his most versatile one.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Like T-Tar is a really good move pool, but you know it's not.
Okay. T-Tar, like I predict the set that he almost every week, without maybe like one or two exceptions. Every time T-Tar comes, he's bringing a defensive Choppleberry T-Tar.
Yeah.
Every time.
I'm
That's my
actually
predict.
really surprised Chili didn't look to
That's
get
my
more
prediction.
versatile mons. Like I think Chili just drafted mons that looked good, but they weren't versatile.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, we
He's
could
gonna, like-
see like an offensive T-Tar potentially, like a
Oh,
Scarf
no.
T-Tar or something.
And also, Chili, if you're watching this, do your games on time for once instead of dodging to like 3 weeks back days the game's supposed to be due.
Now there's some
Like-
some proper advice there. You heard it here, folks.
And yeah, so that is the end of the first recap, part 1 of the LD Season 5.
These will either be in one whole video
Yeah,
or split over 2 videos.
yeah.
Depending
And
on
also,
how
thank you.
how big the
Thanks
video is.
everyone for watching. If you want to watch the entire thing, if you just want to watch your part, that is greatly appreciated. Like, subscribe,
Yeah.
leave a like, comment, or do whatever you need to do.
Do you
Spread the word, or if you
your
don't
thing,
like
do
the
your
video,
thing.
dislike it.
Yep. Let us know what
I
we
know
did
Hiker
wrong.
would dislike this. We baked Hiker.
We baked it. His ass got baked. Like,
Oh, and
Nah,
also something.
nah.
and
Hiker
also-
is reaching the 5.
No, and also something I want to say before we end this is, Hiker, if you're listening to this,
At this point.
Matrix is a better Zerd X drafter than you.
correct.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Matrix has a better Zarek job. You heard it here, folks. Hiker specifically. If you're still watching at this point, Hiker, shout out to Matrix and his
Matrix actually is a
squad.
good god drafter.
Yeah,
Matrix
Matrix is
would
also
talk
Matrix is also a better player than Hiker. So yeah,
He's much superior.
he's
Hiker,
yeah,
you're making
actually-
finals.
No, he's not.
We're cutting him.